Hello, hello. Welcome back to the mat and welcome to the Dhavana Yoga Shala. I am happy to be back in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and I am in my home shala. So this is Dhavana Yoga. This is where I trained to become a yoga teacher. This is where I teach, and I'm lucky enough to have access to this space for a little bit. So I thought I would shoot some classes for you from here. It really is just the most beautiful space. You can't see the entirety of this gorgeous mural back here. It is a mural of the 8 limbs of yoga as a beautiful lotus flower. So I'll share it in my Instagram stories. If we're not connected on Instagram, I'll link below and I'll share a little bit about this beautiful mural with you there. So if you want to check that out, head on over there. For today, I've got a summer solstice yin practice for you. So it is common at the summer solstice to practice 108 sun salutations, which is a very fiery, heat-building practice. Very common at the summer solstice since we are celebrating the hottest, longest, brightest day of the year. But the solstice is also about balance. The word solstice means sun standing still. So at the same time as we honor that inner fire within us, we also want to honor a place of surrender and a place of stillness. So that's what this practice is all about. If you are looking for a fiery 108 sun salutations, I will link to one of those in the comments below. So if that's what you're looking for, head on over there and do that practice. If you're looking to find that place of stillness and surrender, then join me here for this summer solstice yin practice. In terms of props, I'm going to recommend a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, any old pillow off your bed or a cushion that's kind of long should work just fine. Or if you have a couple blocks and like a blanket or a towel, that should work as well. And I'll show you how to supplement that instead. One quick note, there is construction happening right across the street. I apologize. So that banging, you might hear some banging throughout this. I am so sorry about that. Hopefully it kind of dies down, but it is what it is, huh? All right, my friends, go ahead and unroll your mat, grab your props, and let's get started. All right, my friends, let's begin right here in a tall seat. If you want to bring a cushion, block, bolster underneath your seat, that can be really nice to elevate the hips. Find a nice long line through the spine from the sitting bones to the crown of the head. Feel yourself root down through those sitting bones, feeling an elegant length through the spine. Taking just a few moments to dip in. Finding a moment of stillness here. The summer solstice marks the halfway point of the year. So it's a nice time to sort of check in, to take stock, to notice where our energy is, how our energy is feeling, to kind of evaluate what we want to bring into the remainder of this year, the second half. Go ahead and take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. And then from here, gently opening the eyes. And we're going to start with a melting heart, which you might know it as a puppy pose. So we're going to be using the bolster, and if you don't have a bolster or a pillow or a cushion, and if you have a couple blocks and a blanket or a towel, what you can do is set up the blocks so that they are long ways. Set those up in front of you, and then you'll take your blanket or towel and kind of fold it so that it is also long and place it on top, and it'll kind of emulate a bolster type shape for you. So that is an option for that. I am going to be using my phone as a timer for us today. So in Yin, we do want to time how long we're in the poses. We're staying in each pose for about 3 to 4 minutes each pose. So I will be using a timer to kind of time that for us. Here we go, melting heart. So melting heart is like your puppy pose. So if you come onto hands and knees, make sure you've got the hips directly above the knees here. And we're going to take the forearms and bring them onto the bolster. And then you might have to kind of move the knees in or back, depending on how close or far you are. And you want the seat up towards the sky. And then the forehead can come down onto the bolster and the arms come onto the bolster, and the heart sort of melts towards the earth with the seat up nice and high. So I'll go ahead and set our timer, and we'll be here about 3 minutes. And gently begin to lift the head and the torso. And then from here, you can move your bolster or other props out of the way and come to lie on your belly. So from here, we're going to come into a Sphinx Pose. So the forearms will come onto your mat, and you want the shoulders to be right above the elbows. So you've got 90-degree angles created with the arms. And then you gently want to pull the shoulder blades down the back, really make space for the neck so the shoulders pull away from the ears. And the gaze is gently straight forward. So the tendency is to kind of lift the gaze up, which kind of scrunches the neck here. So gaze can stay straight forward. And again, we'll be here. We'll hold this one for 4 minutes, and about 2 minutes in, I'll invite you to take it a little bit deeper into seal. Option to ignore that completely and stay right here. So here we go. And you can kind of imagine pulling the heart through the gates created by the arms so that the heart is shining forward. Staying with an easy, smooth breath. And finding that place of stillness. We've got 2 minutes left here for this pose. So option I like to open my hands just a little bit wider than shoulder width distance. Option to press into the palms and lift the elbows, finding a bit more of the arch in the back. So you'll feel a bit more compression in the low spine. If you feel anything that's sharp or like it's pinching, please come back into your Sphinx Pose. Option to walk the fingertips forward slightly and continue to pull the shoulder blades down the back, shining the heart forward. And we have about 30 more seconds here. Remember, you always have the option of dropping back down to your Sphinx Pose. Whatever feels best on your body today. Gently press into the palms and open the elbows out to either side. Stack one hand on top of the other and bring the forehead onto the hands. You can gently shift the hips side to side here, releasing that pose. And then from here, we're going to come into a chest and shoulder opener. And we'll stay this one 2 minutes on each side. So you can start with right arm, left arm, whichever one feels like you want to start with it. And you'll extend the arm out long in line with the shoulder so that the wrist is in line with your shoulder. And then you'll bring the opposite hand, the palm flat onto the earth next to the shoulder. So I have my left arm extended long. I have my right palm flat next to my right shoulder. I'm going to bend my right knee and begin to turn over towards the left side, trying to keep the left shoulder on the earth. So coming into this chest, shoulder opener. Now, if you're turning here and you feel like nothing is really happening, you can bring the arm into a cactus. So left arm into a cactus shape at a 90-degree angle. And then same thing. If you were feeling more than enough that first time, stay exactly as you were. This can be a pretty intense stretch along the front of the shoulder. So take it nice and easy. Gently begin to roll back to center. Bringing the front of the chest, the hips, all flat onto the earth. Beautiful. We'll switch sides from here. So, opposite arm, maybe you're taking the same arm as me, in which case your right arm goes straight out, keeping wrist in line with the shoulder. Left palm goes flat on the earth next to the left shoulder. Bend at the left knee and begin to press into the left palm as you turn yourself over towards the right side, trying to keep the right shoulder on the earth. The right side of the head can be on the earth. I will set our timer for 2 minutes. And again, it's a pretty intense stretch, so you might want to start out more shallow. Since we are here for 2 minutes, use the breath to allow you to sink a little deeper into the pose. So maybe you start out a little shallower and then gradually move into it a little bit more. Slowly, gently roll yourself back to center. Beautiful. From here, bring hands under shoulders, press yourself up, and bringing your seat back towards your feet. So we're going to come into a child's pose or tadpole twist. And again, we'll take 2 minutes on each side. So what this is going to look like is you'll come forward into your child's pose. And then from here, you'll kind of lift the seat just a little bit. Take the left arm, thread it underneath the right, bringing the left shoulder onto the earth and then the left side of the head onto the earth. And I'll set our timer at 2 minutes. The right hand can stay where it is. Maybe you stretch it a little further over the right ear, reaching forward, wherever feels most comfortable. Bringing the stretch into the back of the shoulder. And gently press into the right hand, lift out of this twist. Come back to center, finding your child's pose here for a moment. And then lift the hips slightly as you thread the right arm underneath the left, bringing right shoulder, right side of the head to the earth. And I'll set our 2 minutes on this side. fingers gently into the left palm. Lift yourself up out of this twist. Beautiful. From here, we'll come into a gentle heart opener with our blocks. So, coming onto our backs, we'll take 2 blocks underneath us. So, you choose the height that works best for you for this heart opener. And I'll show you where we're going to place the blocks so you can decide what works best for you with regards to the blocks. So the first block is going to come just underneath the shoulder blades. So just below the shoulder blades. And then the second block will come just underneath the head. So you can choose medium height for your blocks, just like I have them here. Both blocks on the same height. If this feels like too much, you can come down to lowest height. You also have the option of bringing the block underneath your head a little bit higher than the block underneath the chest, and that will make this a little bit less intense. And from here, the soles of the feet can be flat on the earth, and then you can allow the knees to rest against each other towards the midline. Arms rest by the sides of the body. Gentle heart opener. We'll be here 4 minutes in this one. I'll set our timer. Notice the sensations that arise as you settle into this pose. And this can be a vulnerable position, so notice what, if anything, comes up for you. Very gently begin to press down into the elbows and the forearms, and you can kind of press yourself over onto one elbow and then move the blocks out from underneath you. Come to lie all the way on your back, hugging the knees into your chest. And notice how it feels to lie flat after having been propped up by the blocks in that way. Hug the knees into the chest here. Give them a loving squeeze. And if you have any final movements you'd like, maybe coming into a happy baby for a few breaths, pulling the feet towards the earth, pressing tailbone towards the earth. And then from here, we'll come into Shavasana. So you can extend your legs long. If you'd like to bring your bolster or your blanket underneath your knees, that can be pretty nice for Shavasana. Extending the legs long, coming to lie all the way back. And I'll set a little timer for us for Shavasana as well. Why not? So we've got 8 minutes for Shavasana. Allow the arms to rest by the sides of the body, the palms turned up towards the sky. Go ahead and take a big breath in through the nose. Open the mouth and let it go. Beautiful. Allow yourself to surrender into this final resting pose. Feeling yourself fully supported by the earth beneath you. And start to bring gentle movement into fingers and toes, to wrists and ankles. And turn the head gently side to side. And extend your arms long overhead and take a nice long stretch. And then bring soles of both feet flat onto your mat. And turn onto your right side. Taking just a moment here. Using left hand to help press you up, make your way into a tall seat. Sitting up nice and tall, root through the sitting bones, crown of the head reaching skyward. Bringing the palms to touch at heart center. And bowing the head gently towards the hands. Thank you so much for allowing me to lead you in this practice today. Namaste. Thank you so much, friends, for joining me on the mat. I apologize once again for the construction noise. What can you do? Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful summer solstice. I'll meet you right back here on the mat next time.